Hello and welcome back to another Crafty Simulations video. A couple of videos ago I created content around Carenado's, what was it? It was the Archer 2? Or was it Archer 2, Archer 3, Archer 2? A GA aircraft. A Piper. And I wanted to create some content around Carenado's aircraft, a batch of them. So I've got a complete batch of these aircraft that's sitting in the sim now, and I wanted to see, because these aircraft are quite old in the sim, and there has been other manufacturers, Just Flight, who have released, in this case, an exact replica of this aircraft. Not the Archer so much; they had the Warrior, but there's a lot of comparison between Carenado and Just Flight. And that was even replicated in the comments, because some people did say the Just Flight version is a lot better. Why would you want to buy the Carenado version if Just Flight is so much better? And totally agree with you. Just Flight's, I can't remember what the series they call it now, but their series of GA aircraft from Piper are freaking-tastic. Awesome. Some of the best in the sim. Probably not at A2A's level, but you've got a smattering of Piper aircraft, whereas A2A have just so far got the 250 Comanche, I believe. So, if you're looking for something a little bit different, and you Google GA aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, chances are you are going to get hold of, or have a look at, Carenado's aircraft. So, I will ask the question again. Is Carenado up to scratch against Just Flight's examples of their aircraft? Now, like I said, the previous video had the Archer, and that would be comparable to Just Flight's Warrior. This time, we have exactly the same aircraft. We have the Piper PA-28R Arrow 3. And I do believe this is exactly the same aircraft. I'm going to scratch my head now, and I'm fairly certain, yes, it's exactly the same as Just Flight's Piper PA-28R Arrow 3. It's part of their pack. So there is going to be direct comparison between this aircraft and the Just Flight aircraft. I can't remember whether I've done a Just Flight video of the aircraft. Can't remember. Done so many videos now. If not, I certainly will do. So where does this aircraft sit against the Archer, of which we did a few weeks ago? Well, this would be the more advanced aircraft. The Archer only has a throttle and a mixture, has fixed undercarriage, less space, less speed, that kind of thing. This is now retractable undercarriage. We have a propeller pitch lever. We have various avionics. We have an autopilot for sake, whereas the Archer didn't have one. I don't know whether the real Archer doesn't have one, but in the flight sim version of Carenado, it doesn't have one. This one does. So we're already stepping up the technology tree here in looking at this aircraft. So before we go into the external looks of this aircraft, I will read the feature list, because I like to do this. This is from Carenado themselves, so this is the features of which you will get in your PA-28R. I've got that number right? I have, in your Arrow 3. So we have two default GNS 430 GPS systems. We have custom STEC 55 Autopilot, that's already a step up on the last aircraft, a custom KR87 ADF, a custom BK KN62 DME. So they're all your autopilot options. Now, I don't particularly like the GNS 430. I know it's a perfectly functional piece of equipment. I don't like it. I've just never learned it. It reminds me too much of the old simulators. So you can fit GTN 750s into this simulator. You do this through the tablet. I'll show you that in a few minutes. And we have the options of the GTN 750 from PMS 50 version. I don't think we have the other version. I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but there's two versions of the GTN 750. So we only have one, but we do have a 750, and I do have that on the sim. So we have a default GTX 330 transponder system. Again, that's all useful. So we also have engine and wind sound effects when opening doors and windows. So some aircraft open the windows, the little cat flap just here. If you open that up, it doesn't always change the sound of the airflow. This case, you will open the door. Again, you will get a sound difference. Original high-quality digital stereo sounds recorded directly from the real aircraft, including engine, knobs, giggity, switches, buttons, and different elements. So we're looking at a full fidelity sound pack created with the use of a real aircraft. I do like that because I keep saying this. Graphics are good, sounds are more important, especially if you're replicating, in this case, an airplane. So we have realistic flight dynamics compared to the real airplane, a realistic weight and balance tested by several pilots for maximum accuracy. Now they can say this, I haven't flown in one of these aircraft, I haven't flown one of these aircraft, so I haven't got a clue. All I will tell you is, he's a good flyer, so again I'm going to say they've done the jobs right with how this aircraft flies. We have physically based rendering, so PBR, materials and textures. That goes into how the aircraft looks, so it's going to look pretty damn realistic. PBR materials authored with industry standard software used in the film and gaming industries. Yes, I know. Okay, you're saying it's a good looking aircraft. I totally believe you. Tablet interface for controlling static elements, pilots, opening doors, etc., and starting options such as cold and dark and ready to taxi. So we have a smattering of damn good elements to this aircraft. Again, if we compare this to the Just Flight version, Just Flight have this. They have a tablet. They have a moving map on it, I believe. They have a multitude of options. They have more functionality in their aircraft as well. This aircraft is a little bit cheaper. I think, well, I can't remember what I paid for it now. £15? Can't remember. I'd have to look that one up. It is cheaper than the Just Flight version because that, I think, is retailing 30 odd. I think. I can't remember. I think you can buy it on sales. It keeps going on sale every now and again, but it is cheaper than the Just Flight version. So you have less bells and whistles than the Just Flight version, but you do have options for your avionics, fully functioning cockpits regarding navigation, autopilot, all those kind of things. You have a good sound system on this aircraft. You have an annoying high-pitched squeak, beep that is so irritating. I do apologise for anyone who's got headphones, you're going to hear this. And it works. It looks great externally and internally. In fact, we'll go on to that now because this is the part I like to show the aircraft off. So we have Golf, Mike, Charlie Lima. Yay, I got my name, I got my letters right. We have different repaints based around the world. So this is the only UK-based repaint. I don't know if this is a real aircraft in reality, but it is the UK-based aircraft. So I thought this is the one I would show off. So again, PBR modelling at its finest. Just see the little lumps and divots and all that kind of stuff in the door there. I like that. It shows realism. It shows they really have photographed this aircraft or created it. I don't know how you create a flight sim aircraft. Again, it looks really, really nice. I've got to say this. Flight simulator companies, you do spoilers when you with your products. You know, there are some out there that are a little bit questionable. This is not one of them. It looks really, really nice. A little bit staining around the underside here. In fact, let's look at the normal areas an aircraft would stain. So, exhaust stack. Yeah, I would expect a little bit of staining around there. Not really. I mean, it's hard to tell if that's staining or just the reflections, but it's a clean aircraft. We're going to say it's gone through the wash. Apart from there, that looks like a staining. I don't know what that actually is, really, because I don't know what you get a stain from there, but hey-ho. Again, it looks pretty good. We'll say that. And it's got a little bit of wear and tear here. This is an old aircraft, again. This is not like the Diamond aircraft, of which we've been featuring before. But externally, it looks really, really nice. Just in case you don't know what aircraft you're flying an Arrow. I think there'll be a Piper logo somewhere. Usually there's a Piper logo somewhere on these aircraft, but obviously not on this one. So, again, it looks the part. So, moving on to the internal side of this. Yeah, it's a little bit different from the Archer, of which we flew a few videos ago. Again, like I say, this is a step up from the Archer. You would start your basic training off in the Archer. In this aircraft, you've now moved on, graduated, should we say, onto a more advanced aircraft. So before we start changing the avionics, I think it's quite a clean setup. I don't like completely clustered up cockpits. It gets a little bit confusing. but you have your basic instrumentation. So we got what? So we got the clock, navigational stuff for OBS, heading, airspeed, slip and turn, compass, another compass, sorry, artificial horizon even, another compass, altitude, vertical speed, manifold pressure, I think this is just manifold pressure, yes it is, manifold pressure, RPM, shows how much I've flown this aircraft, not much, EGT temperatures, left fuel, right fuel, there's your fuel gauges, let's get rid of that, if I click on it, so we have oil pressure, PSI, amps, oil temp, diddly squat, undercarriage lever. Okay, so we have something else a bit different there. We have our light switches here for your panel and switch lights. Move that out. Moving on to the central side, we're moving on to the navigational equipment. So here is our basic navigational GTNS 430. Did I say it was? Yeah, GNS 430 system. I don't like that, but don't worry because we can swap that. Transponders, various Bendix equipment. Again, it's fully functional. It works. If you know how to use a GNS 430, this works. I personally don't. Reminds me too much of the old flight simulators. Big difference now, we have a propeller RPM lever. So we are, like I said, moving into the advanced stages of aviation. I say advanced. It is a GA aircraft after all. We have a fuse panel of which is not functioning. Again, doesn't break the deal for me if I'm honest. But Just Flight's version does have a functioning fuse panel even. We have the flap handbrake lever here. Trim wheel. Fuel lever is down here. Fuel switch even. Fuel tank switch is down there. What do we got above us? Not that much really. We have lighting. Good sounds for a switch. I always look at the quality even of the textures that normally you wouldn't see that much, and they look really good. I think I've just broken my neck swinging around like that, but you know, we're in a flight sim. So again, internally speaking, it's a really, really nice aircraft. It does show a little bit of wear on the footplate here. Leather seats, a little bit of wear on them. Again, it adds for the realism. We've got a lot of realism around here. A little bit of staining on the door. It's an old aircraft. I expect that. I would like to see a little bit more wear and tear on the flight column here, but you know, we don't have it, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. A little bit of, quite a bit of actually staining on this, which is completely useless as a sunblind, I suppose. Technically, I suppose it works, but you know, you can't move it other than just one click point on that. But that's an area where a lot of interaction happens, so I'd expect a lot of dirt and grime on there. So cat flap opens up, and as you now can hear, we can hear the sounds outside, so that's good. Moving on to the tablet, it's always down here. So what do we got? We've got static elements. Let's turn them on, shall we? Let's see what we got. Static elements. Yeah, so now we park the aircraft up. The people have bogged off. So again, it's just one click and away you go if you want to do that. So we'll turn them off. External power. So we have a little cart back of the aircraft. Never really needed it. So we'll turn that off. We have a tow bar if you want to be brave enough to tow this aircraft. Again, it's nice, it's there. If you want to take photos of your aircraft, make it look realistic, Carenado have got you covered. We'll turn that off, so we'll have the pilot back on. We're not going to have a co-pilot because that'll be scary. Pilot door. See, this is obviously it lends itself to other aircraft in Carenado's range. We don't have a pilot door. We have this door. This is the only door you have. So if we just press that, the latch goes to open, and that is how you get in and out of this aircraft. Obviously, you just slip over to the pilot's seat. So we'll shut that. We have a baggage door. So is that the front or the rear? Let's have a look. Where we gone? Yes, it's at the rear. I think you can get into... Oh, sorry, you can reach that from the passenger seats area. So we'll turn that off. Sorry, shut it. Shut. Now we'll go to the next one. Now this is... Oh, yes, here we go. So we do have options for the GTN 750XI, which I do not have, and the GTN 750, so I do have. So we'll just click that, and there we go. Now we've got a GTN 750. I like 750s. 750 should come with all aircraft. Fantastic system. Like I said, I don't have access to the 750XI, but it would say installed, and then I could activate it there, and that would be... apparently, it's also a very, very good avionics system. And these are your startup options. So we have 3 set positions for cold and dark, which is where we are now. Ready for taxi, ready for takeoff. Click the little lever, click the little toggle switch there button, and the aircraft will start up. It's a very simple aircraft to start off with anyway. Don't need to do all that. So that's the wrong button. That's the right button. Let's turn TrackIR on. So we are currently sat at I-1. We're going to stay in the local area and we're going to do a little flight. Yeah, let's get this aircraft started. Now, again, forewarned, if you're listening to this video with headphones on, there is a high pitch sound. I think it's the autopilot system powering up, I don't know, or checking itself, I can't remember, and it's bloody irritating. The autopilot system actually will not engage while you're on the ground. I don't know whether that's correct for the real aircraft, but that switch will not work, but it will work once the aircraft is up and going. So I am just going to hope the audio is low enough so that it doesn't scare people. I'll just turn that down a little bit. So batteries are now coming on. I do apologise for that noise. It's very annoying. Ah, dear me. Right, so that's all set. So let's just go. Can I have the mouse back, please? Thank you. So we are... strobe light is on already. That's weird. So we have... let's turn the nav light on as well. Recognition light on. We don't need the pitot heat. Alternator will turn on after engine. Fuel pump we can turn on. Just get a little audio cue there from the system. So now we have mixture control set to full. We can actually get some fuel pressure into the system. We'll just turn that off for now. So lights are set. We've got lights obviously down here, obviously have lit up. We got winky lights. Navigation lights are on. There's a green light. Ah, winky light on tail. There we go. It is winking. That's good. We are a live aircraft. So mixture is set up 3/4. That's good for me. Alternator will come on when the engine is on. Just running through the file systems, get this aircraft started. Magnetos are set to both. We are clear on the left, clear on the front, clear on the right. And parking brake is set. Throttle is set. And we'll have front pitch full open. Mixture is set. Let's start her up. Now this is a good sound pack, I've got to say, so I might have to change the audio level. Let's hear what it's like. Do apologise if the sounds are a little bit live, a little bit loud even. I am just trying to set the audio, just get it right, hopefully. So we'll now turn on the avionics. Alternator. Should have had the fuel pump on really to start. We'll turn that off now. So we will clear the message, no arrival. Clear the message, no arrival. In fact, actually, flight plan will do that one. We'll remove that. Echo, Golf, X-ray, pay attention. Wilco, Waddington, enter, set destination, exactly the same. There's a very good reason why we do this. Because now we'll have the lines put up on the screen. And we shall set this one as a warning of terrain. We'll shut the cat flap up. Makes the aircraft a little bit quieter. So it actually has a really, really good sound pack. I mean, I know they did say it was a good sound pack. I think that actually is a really, really good sound pack. So, flaps. Where's flap lever? I don't know where the flap lever is in this thing. So anyway, well, flaps are set 1 stage, set 2 stage. Oh, flaps are the handbrake, isn't it, you silly fool? I was looking for something. I've been flying the Diamond aircraft. I was used to something up there. Should have realised. Piper aircraft always have their flap lever as a handbrake. So that's 2 stage, 3 stage, confirmed on both sides. Flaps retracted. There won't need flaps on this runway. So we are all good in the hood. Transponder 7000. Set to on. We'll keep that on, and then I'll remind me, because the last video I did not set it to altitude reporting. So we are ready to go. Yeah, I'm just checking everything. Coming off the brakes. Let's test the brakes. Test the steering. And we're all good. So we're definitely going to hear a lot of comparison between this aircraft and the Just Flight version of the Piper PA-28R. And I'm going to say right now, before I get this video over with, yes, the Just Flight version is technically a better aircraft. But, as I always like to point out, I like to have alternatives in the flight simulator. And I think this is great that there are multiple companies creating some pretty iconic aircraft. I'm not going to say the Piper PA-28 is the most iconic aircraft in the sim, but it's nice to see their version of it. It is a lot simpler. You know, you can skip certain parts of this aircraft startup procedure. Like I say, we don't have a fuse panel that works. So that's something that obviously the Just Flight version will have. But it is a good aircraft. If you're interested in general aviation aircraft and you want to try an aircraft that can retract its undercarriage, an aircraft with, you know, a bit more avionics systems inside it, it's worth a punt, this one. So, fuel pump on. Landing lights are already on, I do believe. Flaps are going to be retracted, we don't need them. So, just park ourselves up here. Fairly good sounds there on the brakes. So we'll now set that to altitude, get back. Set that's GPS. We do have that fully functioning here. I can use my G1000 system. Why have we gone back to 1, 2, 3, 4? Not that one. Transponder, didn't want to do that. 7,000, we are VFR. 7,000 altitude. Mixture's going to full, pop pitch is full, flaps are not required. This will be a departure runway 20 and a left-hand departure out of RF Wellington. We will be staying in the local area. Should be airborne around 80 knots, I believe. Clear on approach. So we'll set our heading bug to runway heading. Everything is set. Let's go. Airspeed's alive. There's 40. There's 50. There's 60. There's 70. And we're airborne. We're just going to keep it close to the ground. Tap the throttle brakes. Wheels coming up. Passing 100, and now we can start our climb. So once again, it's a very simple aircraft to fly and to operate. And I'm not saying the Just Flight version is difficult, I'm just saying it's a little more technical. Like I said on the ground as well, the autopilot system does not operate on the ground. You cannot even operate the switch. But now we're into the air. Just trim the aircraft out. Autopilot on. Altitude hold is very simple. We should level the aircraft out. Switch ourselves into heading mode, and now we can chase this little bug here. So if I switch this over, now the autopilot's flying the aircraft itself. Very simple system. We do have with the 750 the ability to input a flight plan. I don't know, do we have nav hold? We do have nav hold, so in theory, I've not tried this, but in theory we would be able to input a flight plan, get the magenta line up, and then select nav hold and let the aircraft fly to the nav line, to the magenta line, and then just follow the flight plan all the way through. So also, I do like the little things in aircraft. It's obviously, like I say, the sounds are important, the graphics are important, but I like this. The static elements here, the points here, I think these are static points, I'm not sure, anti-static points, they actually move in the airflow. I like that. So those of you that have watched my previous videos flying around Waddington, you'll know my little landing points, my little waypoints. So I like to fly towards a blue building, which is this one just here. No idea what it actually is, but the flight simulator has dedicated it to being a blue building. And once I get over that, start to swing around and bringing myself back into runway 20. So we will have fuel pump is already on, landing lights are already now on. We are going to disengage altitude, disengage heading, disengage that really annoying noise. That warning is the throttle is being pulled back too far with undercarriage retracted. So we'll have flaps down one stage. Gear now going down. So now we can pull back the throttle a little bit further. Good visuals in this aircraft. Always good to keep an eye on where you're going. Just retrimming the aircraft out. Right, so final checks, mixture's going full. Tank is selected, we are on the fullest tank, landing lights are on, fuel pump is on, gear is down 3, green lock, flaps are set to approach, we do not need any more flaps. Want to be touching down between 70 and 80, I would say. Touchdown. Make that taxiway. Flaps retracted. So I know this is a short flight, but I wanted to answer the question, is this aircraft by Carenado worth your money and your time when compared to Just Flight's version? Fuel tank off, landing lights are off, blah 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 blah. Lean the engine out a little bit. So obviously we would like it as customers that flight sim companies would only release one version of an aircraft. No other flight sim company would release another version of the exact same aircraft, because what's the point? Carenado's version came out first, although technically I suppose, you know, these are aircraft that were originally released for FSX. These are not port over aircraft, by the way. These are created for Microsoft Flight Simulator. This aircraft does not have all the bells and whistles of the Just Flight version. It just can't. For the price range, it cannot be the exact same. However, it has all the bits and pieces you need to fly, operate, and navigate this aircraft across long-distance journeys. So we have options for the avionics. You can have the 530, the GNS 530, and if you like that system, it works just fine. It's nice that we have the 750s. And personally, I do like the 750s. I think they're a better system. We have good sounds, barring that a ridiculously annoying high-pitched tone for the autopilot system. We have very good external graphics, internal graphics, and the small things like you know, those static probes there just shaking in the airflow. Doesn't have to be put into a flight sim aircraft, but it's nice that Carenado took the time to actually put them in. So let's just make sure I get everything right for shutdown. So land lights are off, fuel pump is off. Good shutdown effects with the propeller and the shake of the engine. Avionics are off, alternator is off, nav lights are off, strobe lights are off, recognition lights are off. Main battery is off. I can just remember where the click spot is for the doors, hidden away. So, like I said, is this Carenado version of the PA-28R, is it better than Just Flight's own version of the PA-28R? No, of course it isn't. But it is a good aircraft. As a whole-round package, it is very good. It has something about it. It's simple to operate, so if you just want to jump into an aircraft and just fly, this is a very good rendition of the PA-28R. Like I said, you have the avionics and the clickable cockpit, all the bits and pieces that you need to really operate the aircraft. They work. It's good handling. And I think if you take it into account with the Archer, it's a good aircraft to learn to fly, or learn how to fly GA aircraft here in the sim. And I think it's fantastic that there's two companies that have released this particular aircraft and done very, very good jobs. I know the repaints for both these aircraft out on the Flight Simulator websites, and like I say, it's a bit older than Just Flight's version, but I think it's very, very good, and for the price point, I don't think it can be knocked at all. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I know there's going to be people who are putting the videos, well, why try the Carenado version? Yes, I know, I've tried to answer that question. It's a good variant, good version of this aircraft. So yeah, if you've got any questions or comments, please bang them below. I'll answer them as soon as I can. And I will hope to see you guys in a future Microsoft Flight Simulator video very, very soon.